You ever heard that saying where going on a group trip with your friends will show you who your real friends are, like how solid your connection really is? Yeah, well, I just had one of those experiences a couple weeks ago with these two girls that I thought were my friends. Turns out they were not. And before the comments ask, why did you get kicked off? Like, what did you do? I'm gonna tell you guys literally like from start to finish. First off, the night before leaving, I had a really, really bad panic attack. And mind you, I don't have panic attacks. Like, I'm an anxious person sometimes, but like this was like a different level. My chest was so heavy. I literally couldn't breathe. I had like a whole mental breakdown before leaving. And I was playing it off that, oh, I'm just nervous because we're going to be driving really far away. And I was just scared. I was just nervous, whatever. No, that was my intuition telling me, Kayla, do not go on this trip. So whatever, the day that we leave, we drive at least like eight to like 10 hours or so. It took us a while to get to where we needed to be. And we ended up staying at this one house for one night, and then the next day we were going to leave and then drive another 3 hours to this music festival. So within this period of time, like I'm noticing like weird looks from one of the girls, like I'm playing certain musics and like I would see that she would be like rolling her eyes or like getting irritated at me. And I kept having these like really negative thoughts and like this overwhelming feeling of like, I feel like I should not be here right now. So the day before we were going to leave, these girls walk into the room and they're like, hey, Kayla, do you want to go for a walk? And they wanted to go to like this wooded trail or whatever. Mind you, it wasn't out of the ordinary because we had already talked about like going on a hike and like watching a sunrise and stuff like that. So that wasn't weird to me. So whatever, we get to this trail and I'm noticing like really weird vibes. Like it's like something hasn't been said and it's just like there's like a lot of tension. And then I see this flower and something told me to like start filming this flower and to not stop filming. And as soon as I start filming this flower, I overhear one of them go, she's filming, to the other one. And mind you, like they're like a little ways away, so they like weren't that close to me. And it's just I overheard it, and I feel like I overheard it for a reason. So I peeped that and like something told me like keep filming. So I kept filming and like I get them in this video, and like this one girl's like she has this like really creepy smile on her face, and it's kind of like this underlying tone of like, oh, she doesn't even know what we're about to do to her. Like it's very fucking eerie. So we get to this like middle of this forest preserve, like walking, whatever. And then this one girl goes on with saying, well, Kayla, I kind of want to talk about something and this is mainly for you. But, and then she goes on this whole like tangent. At some point I was really confused at what she was trying to get at. And like, I had to tell her like, okay, can you just like get to the point? Cause like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then we stop and she goes, I want you to leave. I want you to get a plane ride home and I want you gone. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, you want me gone? Mind you, like I've known these girls since middle school. Like this isn't like, these aren't like random people that I've only known for like so and so long. So I'm like looking around, like looking for like the cameras, like I'm getting pranked, right? Like, what do you mean you want me to leave? And mind you, there's another girl here, but she's not really talking that much. Like she's just standing there like this, like staring at me like, while the other girl's talking, and I'm looking at both of them like I'm I'm confused. So whatever, I'm trying to like de-escalate the situation. I'm like trying to like really get down to why they want me gone so badly, because they were saying these things of like, oh, like we feel like you're gonna ruin the trip, we feel like you're gonna do this, we feel like you're gonna do that, blase blase. What are you talking about? Like you know who I am. Like I'm so confused right now. Like there's like a big chunk that's missing here. Like at some point I asked her for her keys and I'm like, hey, like can I just like go back to your car? Like I don't know what the problem is. And like the look on her face when I asked her that, it's like she got pissed off. And at that point, like I start getting like really panicky. I'm like, whoa, like what are you guys doing? Like I don't understand. And mind you, like we're in the middle of the woods and like these two girls are just ganging up on me at this point. At some point I was forced to leave their house and I had to get a plane ride home and I had to get a hotel to stay that night because I couldn't get a plane that day. So whatever, we're back at the house. I'm grabbing all of my stuff. Like they're not really talking to me. Like they're acting like, oh, it's whatever. And I'm like on the phone and then my Uber's here and I'm not talking to them either. And I just grab my stuff and then one of them goes, where are you going? And I go, my Uber's here. I'm going to my hotel. Like, where else would I be going? And then she looks at me and she goes, oh, well, I would have brought you. Like, it was just like so spiteful. So then I like leave to go to this Uber and then she tries to give me a hug. And like, mind you, like it was so, like she was playing, like she was acting. Like this was all an act. Like she was trying to act like, oh no, like this is the best for everybody. Like I promise, like guys, she's gonna ruin it. The other girl was just a fucking follower because she didn't really even say much of anything. So whatever, fast forward, I'm home at this point and they have all of my stuff. I bought food, water that they ended up taking. They took all of that. They had to take my stuff because I brought stuff for camping as well. And mind you, I also paid for this music festival. So I was out $500 something plus some however much on food and water, whatever else. So at some point, her and her little boyfriend stop by my house, drop my stuff off, and then just leave. She can't even face me. I don't even know. So I'm looking at my stuff and I realize that some of my stuff is missing. So my mom ends up calling her, asking her like, hey, like, we're missing this, we're missing that, like, where is it? And one of the things, she's like, oh, my sister has it. All the way out in like South Carolina or North Carolina, whatever. Like, why does she have it? And it was something that was like mine too. So it's like, you had her using my stuff? Okay. Anyway, she starts harassing me about this necklace that her mom gave me. And I said that I didn't have the necklace. And I'm not lying. I didn't have that necklace. I had originally told her that I think I left it at her grandpa's. But, oh my God. Then I remembered the day that I had to leave the hotel, I had a bag that I couldn't bring with me on the plane, and I had to leave it there, and the necklace was in that bag. So, like, if you want that necklace back so bad, call Embassy Suites in Tennessee, because I don't have it. But the funny thing is, I asked her, I'm like, hey, do you have my tube top? And as soon as I asked her about this tube top, she shut up, and she was like, I'll check. I'll see if I have it. Oh, okay, here, let me jog your memory. This tube top that you wore and posted on your Instagram, not just one post, but 2 separate posts, seems very spiteful and vindictive. Not to mention that you also decided to wear the dress that I was gonna wear after you already had one picked out. So let's just say, like, if you really hated me this much, if you really thought that I was like this whatever person that you're trying to paint me as, would you be wearing my clothes? And would you be wearing the dress that I was originally going to wear? Maybe that's just me, but I just thought that was really odd. And it seems like it's some deeper rooted of some sort of jealousy or something, because why are you wearing my stuff? You posted it too. And it's probably because you knew that somehow it was going to get back to me, and I can already see it, like, oh, this is Kayla's shirt, should I wear it? Da 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 da. Just gross behavior. Thing is, I already know she's just going on a rampage, trying to talk a lot of shit about me and trying to say this, that, and third of, oh, she's doing this, she's doing that. This is a projection of yourself, girl. You are a compulsive liar. You are trying to convince yourself of your own lies, and you know that you're lying.
So my husband and I have been married for almost 5 years now, but before we were married, I felt so conflicted on whether or not he was the actual person I was supposed to marry, like whether or not he was the one. And at the time, I was doing hair, so I was constantly around women, like constantly doing, other women's hair. And so I had a client in my chair one day, and I asked her, like, how did you know your husband was the one? And she goes, oh, I just asked God for a sign, and he showed me. And I was like, okay, well, that's simple enough. Like, I'm just going to ask God for a sign. So I'm driving myself crazy trying to figure out what my sign should be. I'm like, I don't want it to just be anything. Like, I don't want it to be obvious. Like, I just want to pick a sign. Like, I want it to be a good sign, So I think about this for like a week. I'm driving myself crazy. And finally, I'm laying in bed one night and I'm praying. I'm like, okay, Lord, I'm just going to pick a red bird. If I'm supposed to marry Jordan, just show me a red bird. So then, of course, I'm going even crazier looking for a red bird everywhere. And I am not seeing red birds anywhere, okay? So I go down to my mom's house. She lived about an hour and a half from me at that time. And we're driving around and I'm telling her, like, I've asked God for this sign, whatever. And she's like, you know what? Just relax. Like, don't worry about it. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Yada, yada. And I'm like, okay, cool. So we're driving around and she had a little convertible at the time, and we pull over because it started to rain, and we're putting the top up, and sure enough, a little red bird lands on the hood of the car. And me and my mom just kind of looked at each other like, okay, that's kind of funny. So then I go home. I'm not thinking too much of it. I go home and my boyfriend, he's not my husband, but at the time we were long distance. And so we're on the phone and we're just chatting. And I'm like, so what are you up to? Like, what are you working on? And he's a graphic designer. So he's like, oh, I'm actually working on a logo right now. He's like, yeah, I'm printing it off so that I can like do some tweaks to it or whatever. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And he's like, yeah, this is so weird though. He's like, I just changed my ink cartridge out, but my printer just printed this logo entirely in red. I'm like, in red? That's weird. I'm like, so what is it? Like, what's the logo? And he's like, it's a bird. And I freaked out. I like had to put my phone on mute. I was like, it's a red bird logo? And he's like, yeah, it's for a coffee shop. And I was like, oh my gosh, like fully freaking out. But I'm still not convinced. I'm still like torn. I'm like, is that really my sign? So then I'm driving to Tulsa to see him. I lived in Oklahoma City and I'm driving to his house to see him. And on the drive, I'm on the phone with one of my friends telling her about this. And then I look up and boom, I see a huge cardinal on the back of this truck. Like it's Cardinal Trucking Company. And it's a huge red painted bird on the side of this truck. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. And at that point, I'm like, all right, this is kind of feeling like it's getting louder and louder and louder to me. And so I'm just praying like, Lord, okay, I think that this is happening. Like, I think this is actually who you have for me. I think that was you giving me my sign. So then I go see him. I walk into his apartment. He hugs me and I look at the counter and I see that printed off red bird logo. And I was like, yeah, that's it. Like, we're going to get married.
How my dad, she was someone who was very erratic. You could never know what mood she was going to be in. You didn't know if she was going to be happy, which was rare. And even if she was happy, it wouldn't last very long. She could change her mood at the snap of fingers. Is that a phrase? It just was erratic. Like I said, it was unreliable. It was scary because you didn't want to make any wrong move to upset her. She wasn't very nice to my dad. She would talk about him behind his back to me, and I learned as I got older that is a control mechanism where she can try to keep me in her little corner instead of me getting closer to my dad, realizing how unhealthy she really was. I apologize if this is a little disjointed. This is really my first time doing an in-depth story time about what happened to my family. Apologies if it's a little hard to follow sometimes, but I promise I'm doing my best. Years leading up to this, my mom never had a job. Now, my dad didn't make tons of money, but he made enough to fund our life, buy us a house. I have 3 siblings, so he made enough to support all 4 of the siblings, including myself, my mom. So he was doing good, and my mom was a stay-at-home mom up until 2 years before this happened. My mom was very smart, so she went to online real estate school, and this was in 2003 probably, so she was ahead of the times, I feel like, in that situation. She got her real estate license extremely quickly, started being gone from the house. Slowly but surely, she was gone longer and longer, where it got to the point within 2 years, she would almost never be home. And sometimes she would come home and she would have very red eyes, or she would come home and smell like alcohol. This was very unusual, new, because my dad was a type of dad, and I guess my mom too, at first, was a type of parents who didn't even allow alcohol in the house. They were very careful with us. They didn't want anything that we could get into in the house. So when she started coming home smelling like alcohol and red eyes, it was very obvious. Now, by this time, when I'm 13, 14, I had begun to realize that she was telling me things about my dad to make me not like him. And I just grew up and I saw how she was acting. I saw how erratic she was. I knew how I felt around her, how I didn't feel safe. I started moving away from her and closer to my dad, thank goodness, because I was able to form a relationship with him more closely before he passed away. Also, I'm not like a makeup influencer, so go easy on me when it comes to makeup because I barely know how to do it. Anyway, so this was also around the time where I started noticing that she was on her phone all the freaking time. This was when texting first started being a thing. She was constantly texting, very, very secretive with her phone. It disgusted me because I was like, why is she being so weird with her phone? And obviously, usually that means people are doing stuff they're not supposed to do. And that was the case with her. One time I saw her phone in the laundry room just sitting there. So I decided to grab it and look at it. It was pulled up to a text. Maybe I didn't even grab it. It was just open to a text. I guess she didn't think anyone was going to be in the laundry room. And it was between her and this other man. They were talking inappropriately for someone who is married. And again, it just like traumatized me. It was disgusting. I didn't understand that. Around that time, she also started taking me to places where she shouldn't have, like meeting her boyfriends, meeting people that she was having affairs with while she was married to my dad. She was doing substances, was spending all of our money on those substances and on her affairs and buying gifts for them. It was insane, actually. I remember one time she bought a pair of new shoes for this guy and took me and my brothers with her to go drop them off to that man. Just disturbing stuff that just shouldn't have been happening. And I started to hate her for it, honestly. I'm trying to do this in part 1, but there's just no way because it's so much. So school's out. My dad's texting me. My family's in a different town 3 hours away. My dad's texting me, telling me how much he misses me, and I obviously miss him too. So I tell my mom, hey, I'm ready to come home. We were at her side of the family's, and I tell her, we're ready to come home. Can you come pick us up? And to my surprise, she was sure. The reason why I said to my surprise is because she was so selfish, y'all, that she would never do anything unless she had some kind of benefit from it. She then came and picked me and my friend up. And I think at that same time, she dropped my brothers off. And I was like, oh, okay, so she dropped my brothers off at our family. She drove me and my friend home. We dropped my friend off. And then when we get to my house, she tells me, this is at the beginning of the summer, she tells me, run inside. You made a bad grade. And if your dad sees you and comes home, he will ground you because you made a bad grade. Now, my dad was at work, so he wasn't there. And I did not make bad grades. I made very good grades in school. It came easy to me. And so I was very confused at that. But she was my mom. I was 14 and I listened to her. And that was the biggest regret I have. She had me go get my clothes. Also, I'm going to run out of time before I get to the part where it actually happens. I'm so sorry. This is a really long story. My first time ever telling it. I'm gonna have to do a part 2. I will explain what happened after she didn't let me see my dad, and the following 3 days where she goes through with her plan. And then my life changed forever.
Been seeing this guy a few times, whatever. He's significantly older than me. You would think that that's a good thing. It's not. They're not any different. If anything, they're fucking worse. So, go on a few dates with this man. He's fun. Everything's great. Everything's fine and dandy, right? I think. So, then this man invites me out on a boat one day. And I'm like, okay, yeah. Like, I'm so sad. Like, that is so fun. So, he's like, okay, come to my house. Like, all my buddies are here. And we will like shuttle to the boat. And I'm like, okay, cool. Keep in mind, I had canceled on going on this boat prior because I was like, I just don't like the idea of being stuck with a bunch of people I don't know. Like, is this a situation I'm gonna be comfortable in? Because, you know, he's older than me. I don't want to be like the little thought that's running around. Okay. I pull up to his house and there are just 3 women in his house in bikinis. Gorgeous, beautiful, very sweet women, but just women. And I'm like, are you Hugh Hefner? What is going on? So that's fine. The girls are so sweet, whatever. We go out on the boat. Everybody's having a good time. I'm having a great time. The girls were so nice. They were friendly. It was great. One of the girls starts kind of asking me like about the situation with homeboy and kind of like tell her like, oh, we've been out a few times. Like, it's really nothing serious. She's like, oh, well, I fucked him last weekend. And I was like, oh, okay. And she's like, and that girl, she's on a Hinge date with him right now. And I was like, what? Excuse me? Okay, that's cool. On top of that, he invited all 3 of us to come stay at his house that night in his 2-bedroom home. So that's cute and fine and dandy, right? You know, whatever. So I just ended up doing my own thing. Ended up becoming friends with one of the girls. Love her. She's a sweet angel. It's a whole thing. Don't speak to this man at all, right? He's calling me all the time, texting me. He's like, that girl, we were not on a Hinge date. Like, I was just trying to, like, show her the ropes of the marina and all the bullshit that, you know, men say. Well, I'm moving in 3 weeks, and I'm like, I want to live it up here. So homeboy invited me to go to a baseball game last night. And I was like, I really shouldn't. My friends are like, you really shouldn't. But did I? Yeah, I did. So anyways, this man comes and picks me up in a fucking like hoopty, like this big ass clunky trunk. And I was like, where's the Mercedes? The fuck is this? So anyways, that happens. And I'm like, okay. Drive an hour to go to this baseball game. Having a great time. Like, everything is fine. It's fine. I'm having a good time. Well, at one point he's like, so what's the plan for tonight? And I was like, well, you're driving me home and I'm going home alone, my love. That's the fucking plan. And whole demeanor switch up. Demeanor change. Vibe changes. And I was like, uh-oh. He thought he was getting laid. Let me also add, this man was like heavily drinking all night. Like drinking whiskey on the way there, pounding beers at the baseball game, ordering his shots. And I'm like, you're driving me home, an hour home, in this rinkety-dinkety mobile. I need to get home safely. My dog needs a mother. If I die, my friends will never laugh again. Like, I'm literally like, what songs are they going to play at my funeral? Like, I need you to, like, be for fucking real. So I told him, I was like, you need to chill on the drinking. And he's like, fine, I like order water. And I'm like, yeah, you should. He's like, should we just leave and go home? I'm like, ew, yeah, I want to go home. Anyways, so takes me home. Tension is in the air. I don't really give a fuck. I want to go to bed. This man pulls into my driveway, turns off the ignition, and is walking me to my door. And I'm like, why are you walking me to my door with your pizza box? Like, you're not coming in. So that happens. I come inside. I start taking off my makeup. I get a phone call from him. He's like, I don't really know what to do. Like, my truck won't start. And I'm like, figure it out. Figure it out, my love. So he's like, oh, it's really like that. Okay. Hangs up. And I'm like, I'm still doing my nighttime routine. I'm like, this can't be for fucking real. It calls me like 20 minutes later and it's like, I really don't know what to do. Like, it's not starting. And I was like, I literally don't know what to tell you. I don't want you in my house. He's like, okay, I'll just start walking. I'm like, okay. I check the ring camera. This man has his pizza box just walking down the street. I'm like, be for fucking real right now. Where are you going also? Literally, where are you going? Where do you think you're going? 30 minutes later, text me. He's like, I'm sleeping in your driveway tonight. Thanks for the hospitality. Don't let the bed bugs bite. I don't... Okay. So I go to bed. I slept like a fucking angel. 3 a.m. calls me. I can't do this anymore. I'm like, oh my fuck. So I'm nice. I'm like, you can come sleep in the guest bedroom if you leave me the fuck alone. Also, let me keep in mind, I was gonna offer the guest bedroom hours ago, but he kept throwing a titty fit and hanging up on me before I could even get to that point. So, anyway, this man sleeps in the guest bedroom. Wake up in the morning, he's like, it's gonna take a few hours to get a battery charger. And I'm like, you have me blocked in. Like, I'm in the garage, dog. Like, I have stuff to do. I was like, try and go start the truck, please. He tries and goes starts the truck. Vroom, 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 vroom. The bitch is working. The bitch is fucking working. Literally the second that man pulled out of my driveway, I said, block. Anyways, so this is my formal announcement. It's not me, it's you. Men suck. I literally can't do this anymore. I'm fucking tired. I'm fucking exhausted.
Me and my boyfriend are getting kicked out of my parents' house, so get ready with me while I tell you why. Also, don't mind my voice. I was out on the weekend. I did karaoke on Friday night and Saturday night, so my voice is like very gone. Anyway, so to give you guys sort of like a little bit of background, my mum is Christian. She goes to church. I stopped going when I was 18 because it just wasn't for me and I wasn't enjoying it. Her church is very, very strict. I won't get into too much detail because it's a lot, but it's very strict. In her church, you're not allowed boyfriends. You just have to get married straight away. I don't know, it's really weird. No boyfriends, and like boyfriends aren't allowed to stay at the house. I only got my first boyfriend at 18 and never had boys stay over at the house or anything. I didn't even know where to start. I met Bailey, we've been dating 1.5 years now. I would just like go and stay at his house because obviously he wasn't allowed here. Like, he was allowed to come over, like, but not allowed to stay over. Also, my dad is not Christian. Like, he doesn't go to church or anything. That's why I'm like allowed to have boyfriends and stuff like that. Anyway, so Bailey was living at home and I used to just go stay at his house. And his stepdad is not a very nice person. hope he doesn't see this, but I don't really like him, and neither does Bailey. So Bailey hated living at home. He was like really miserable all the time. So I kept asking my mum if he could move into the unit here. So I kept asking my mum if like Bailey could come and live in the unit. She kept saying no, and then one day she was like, okay, like she came and talked to us both and said Bailey can move into the unit, but Rach, you have to stay in the house. So that's like the only way mum was going to allow Bailey to stay over if I lived in the house. And at the time I was sharing a room with my little brother because my other sister was in the lounge room, which I don't know how to explain it, but anyway. It's like a separate room at the front of the house, but it doesn't have any doors, and it's like, yeah, I don't know. So then she moved out, and someone was like, okay, you can stay in the lounge room and Bailey can move into the unit, which we call the hut. So if I call it the hut any time throughout this video, that's what it means. Okay, now after that conversation, I was like, can I just stay in here with him? Like, it's gonna like be really hard to stay in the house and like sleep in the house while Bailey's living in here, you know? And my dad pulled me aside and he was like, Rach, like just say yes to mum, like stay in the house, but then like a few times a week, I don't mind if I like sneak out and go and stay with Bailey. So like this just kind of like prefaces like my mum and dad's relationship. Like my dad doesn't care about anything that we do outside of the church, but my mum does. I'm trying to make this as quick as possible, but I'm very bad at telling stories. Alright, so Bailey moves into the hut, and like I kind of half set up my room in the lounge room, like with my bed and my drawers and stuff. And he starts living in there. Obviously, I start sleeping in the hut with him because like it's really hard when your boyfriend is living like literally 100 meters away from you and you're like not allowed to like sleep in the same bed as him. It's like really hard. Obviously, I wanted to respect my mum's beliefs, but I said to her a few times, if your mum let your boyfriend stay in the house, like, you would probably go and like sleep with him. And like, I know I should have just like listened to her and done what she said, but it was really hard. Okay, so anyway, that was about 8 months ago, I think. So he's been living in here for 8 months now. And so through this whole time, I've been like slowly moving my clothes in here. Like most of them are still in the house, but like I have my vanity table here, like all my toiletries, my makeup, like some of my clothes. So we're basically living together. Every month or something, or like every few weeks, my mum would be like, Rach, you need to like start sleeping in the house, you know, like you said you would, blah, blah. So like she'd forget about it and then remember that she was supposed to let Bailey sleep here, and so she would say, Rach, you need to move your stuff into the house and like start sleeping in there. And I know you all are definitely just gonna say, why didn't you just listen to your mum? But if you were in my position, I think you would understand. And a few weeks ago, I found out that one of the ministers, like the leaders of my mum's church, found out that Bailey was living in here and got my mum in trouble, which is just like absolutely ridiculous. It's so hard talking about it because it makes me very angry. She's like, you are probably gonna have to find somewhere else to live, but like didn't exactly say you need to get out. A couple weeks ago, like probably a week or two after her church found out, she like sat me and Bailey down with my dad and said, Bailey will need to find somewhere else to live because he can't be staying in here anymore. He said, you haven't respected my wishes, like you haven't stayed in the house at all. I'm getting in trouble at church. Anyway, so I was pretty upset after that. And she said to me, you can still stay in the house, but Bailey has to find somewhere else to live. So at my house, I pay about $50 in rent and Bailey pays $100. So like that's pretty good. Like in this economy, that is like amazing. So we don't want to find somewhere else to live. Like it's so expensive. It is very expensive to move out. I'm like wanting to save and like go on a trip to Europe next year. To pay $50 for rent, that's like extremely good. So I want to keep living at home, but I also want to live with Bailey. So it's just like so difficult and we don't know what to do. Also, we have until the 20th of July to move out. That's what my mum said, because she has someone moving in on the 20th of July. So she already wanted to, apparently she had been like for months to, or like a couple months to ask us to move out because she already had someone else that wanted to move in, which also just makes this situation 10 times harder because she wanted to for a couple months and did not tell us. We had like a month to figure out what to do and pack all our stuff up. So anyway, that is why Me and my boyfriend are getting kicked out of my parents' house. Let me know what you guys think I should do, and thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this like little story time. Yeah, love you guys. Bye.